Sword of Convallaria is a good gacha with a great game. I'm Robocon, and this was my first thought when I picked up and started playing this title. Initially, I saw this release on Steam as I was poking around for a tactical RPG and said, oh, that looks cool. I loved Final Fantasy Tactics and Triangle Strategy. Maybe I'll try this. That actually might be the first thought for a lot of people who like tactical and strategy RPGs, who also enjoy a pixel art style of game and run across this in Steam like me. However, you look at it and see it's free to play on Steam. It's a mobile game. It's a gacha. A lot of negative feelings get dredged up for people when they see that. Pay to win, predatory spending, etc. And that's valid, because without a doubt, Sword of Convallaria is a gacha game. However, it's unique in the fact that it's a game with two faces. On one face, you have the standard mobile gameplay. Use real money to buy gems, to buy tickets, to click a button, and hope to get a character or a weapon or a doodad. And hey, if you want the best version of the thingamajiggy you just won in the slot machine, well, you're gonna have to win it multiple times. Progress on the mobile side is limited by a time-gated energy mechanic. It throttles your play as you progress forward. And you spend real money in the form of these shiny gems to buy more energy, to play a little more of the game if you're impatient. If I say just that, then there are a whole host of people that will turn this video off right now and say, no thank you, which is completely understandable. I'll be honest, it's not a detractor for me. I enjoy a host of mobile gacha games such as Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, just to name a few of the bigger ones. I find these games fun to play. They're akin to the quality of a AAA title for graphics and gameplay experience, with a well-funded live service style behind them because of the gacha aspect, so I can continue to enjoy the game for years. Do you have to spend money in these games to enjoy them? No. Do they do their damn best to make you want to spend in them? Yes. Part of that is intertwining the main gameplay with the gacha, where one hand kind of feeds the other over and over again, making you spend to play, and you play because you spent, and it's just a cycle. But what if I told you of the other face of Sword of Convallaria? The completely free, completely devoid of paid gimmicks game within this mobile gacha that is, in my opinion, an A-tier tactical strategy RPG with hundreds of hours of gameplay. This is Sword of Convallaria's Spiral of Destinies mode. If you were to take aspects of Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Ogre, Triangle Strategy, Fire Emblem, Octopath Traveler, and Battle Brothers and mash them all together, you have the single-player face of Sword of Convallaria. It has stunning art, it's beautifully animated with neopixel graphics akin to Octopath Traveler, a deep and interesting and emotional story filled with a multitude of heroes and villains, anime cutscenes to tell the story, and epic music from Hitoshi Sakimoto, who did the music from Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII and a bunch of other games to back it all up, which is great. For the strategic part of the single-player game, you take the role of the leader of a mercenary group. The group's name? The Sword of Convallaria. Yeah, that's it. Your mercenary group's name is the Sword of Convallaria. What is Convallaria? Well, Convallaria is a uniquely located town in the game's setting, positioned at kind of a crossroads of converging power. And all these powers are vying to control the land due to its abundance of this potent magical resource or ore called Luxite. As a Sword of Convallaria's leader, you'll have to manage your mercenary band by assigning and completing missions, most of which are completed in the three-dimensional isometric battlefield. To complete these missions effectively, you'll need to recruit new members to the Sword of Convallaria, train them with new skills, equip them with gear, and manage their health or stamina in this game. Give them rest, etc. As you do so, the choices you make will affect the game in different ways as it progresses. For the tactical part of the game, you'll play out missions and battles much like Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy Tactics on this really beautiful neopixel rendered isometric battlefield with various elevations and terrains and destructibles, all sorts of cool stuff. As with many games of this genre, the missions start pretty easy, being fairly straightforward, kill the enemy and profit. But as the missions and story progresses, you open up new abilities for your group members, and things become more interesting. Missions start to show a surprising variety: hold off the enemy while people escape, destroy enemy supplies, assassinate certain targets, everything one would expect from a full-fledged, well-thought-out tactical RPG. A mission that happened to me fairly early that really stood out was one where there were some injured enemy soldiers from a previous battle that came to town, and they needed healing, but some of them had beef with the healer in town due to the healer's affiliation with a opposing faction. So you had two ways to kind of complete the mission. A, kill the soldiers, show no mercy, as they were unwilling to show mercy to the healer who was going to fix up their buddies. Or B, hold back the uninjured soldiers looking to pick a fight while the healer shows benevolence and heals the enemy's injured friends. Look, I know that's not groundbreaking stuff, but it is good stuff. And remember, this is all nestled inside a mobile gacha game. And also remember, you can play this entire awesome second phase of the game without needing to spend a dime. What you do in the Spirals of Destiny mode will give you shiny gems and resources for the mobile gacha side, but the mobile gacha side has almost no effect on the single-player Spirals of Destiny side. Ah, what's that, Robo? You said almost no effect on the single-player side? You're right, I did. When you first start the Spirals of Destiny's single-player side, you pick 3 characters from the mobile game side to be your starting characters. Now, these characters you pick will start with all the skills you got for them on the mobile game side, but that's it. No gear, no levels. I started the single-player game with 3 of the free units I was given at the start of the game without needing to spend a single cent or playing a single second of the mobile game side of Sword of Convallaria. You will want to use the free gems and free pulls given to you in the gacha to get a few characters, and then boom, over to single player. And away you go into this rich, deep Spirals of Destiny side of the game that I think is just so great. So that's how the gacha side feeds into the single player game. How does the single player game feed into the gacha? Because as we talked about before, there's always one hand feeds the other. Well, you will earn rewards and gems and resources for the gacha in the single-player game, which will let you complete the story and game on the gacha side. The gacha story is connected to the single-player story, and without spoiling too much, it's very Chrono Trigger-esque multiverse type deal that I don't really want to spoil. But I will say, if you play the Spirals of Destiny's single-player game through once, you'll probably enjoy the story on the gacha side better. And yes, I did say once. I said that because on the single player side of the game, it has a new game plus type mode with alternate endings and different important choices that can change outcomes and make everything just new, which is awesome. That's why I said there's hundreds of hours to play on the single player side of the game. Now, enough of me glazing the single player side. Some of you may wonder about the gacha mobile game side. Well, like I said before, I do play gachas, and in comparison to the others, it's not bad. You get more energy than most gachas normally get you. Just logging on at 2 different times throughout the day gives you more energy, which is nice. The rates on which the banners for the characters you pull for are pretty decent compared to the rest of the market, and you get a good amount of free stuff for the gacha side. All in all, I'd say it's good. Everything over there is slightly better than you would find in other games of the gacha type, but the gacha isn't really what I'm here to talk about, even though I will say, again, I enjoy that portion of the game too. Now, right now on Steam, Sword of Convallaria has a mixed review score, mostly due to the gacha part of the game. Again, understandable, but I love the game so much, I wanted to make a video to try and cut through some of the review noise and let people know of the great game inside of this good gacha. If you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. I'll be making more content for Sword of Convallaria in the future, more for the gacha side of the game to help those that may dabble over there, because I feel that's where people will need the most help to navigate. There's several different potential pitfalls for gacha games, and I want to help people through that. I would highly appreciate it if you could like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment, as it helps my new channel here grow and become visible. In the comments, let me know what you'd like to see from me in the future. In the Sword of Convallaria space, or really the gacha space in general,